Tell me.
Yeah, manatees eat their own poo.
Yeah.
And they poo out like a gazillion pounds.
Cameron, tell me about penguin poo.
The poo is yellow, and
Abs.
can I start all over?
Yes, go ahead.
No, start a new video.
Okay, go ahead. Penguin poo.
Okay.
Take two.
So penguin poo, it's yellow and it can squirt out to 4 feet long, and it squirts out. It just splats over and
And what color is it?
yellow.
Did you
Like
know?
SpongeBob? Yellow?
Yes.
Did it smell bad? Did you see it?
It got on one of the campers, and it was all over their knee. and the baby, it was a baby penguin, and he was about 3 feet away from the penguin, or 4, and it squirted it out when he got him out, and he squirted it all over his knee and down.
So you got to pet a penguin
I got to hold a penguin. I got to feed a penguin.
and pet a penguin. And so what do they feel like?
They feel like these like crispy feathers, but they're soft too, and they're really, really wet. But once you like get them out of the water, they're so dry. And
But what were they in? Were they in cages? Were they in a big...
they were in a big habitat. They were animals that liked the heat, and so they made a lot of rocks.
Wait a minute.
big
Penguins like
hot
heat?
pool.
They rock hoppers. So they use the rocks to get the heat from, I think, maybe?
I never heard of that.
They were not rock hoppers,
No, they weren't rock hoppers.
and
No.
they were from Africa, and they love the heat. And
Like the
they
Madagascar penguins?
Yes. And they love the hot water, and they swam in it, and they were about 3 feet tall, and the baby was about
Yeah.
one foot.
How big? How big? Show me about how big a baby penguin is.
And then the father and mom, the father was up to here, and the mom was down to here.
Mhm.
And
Did they
were
tell you what their names
super
were?
big. And yes, and you know how they tell the names?
How?
They have these bracelets on with different colors, and then she remembers the name from the bracelet.
I have something to say.
Okay, Maria, hold on. Let me get you
Sugar
on.
Booga! There is a fat, lazy polar bear named Johnny. And he kept like rolling over and doing yoga moves.
Was
Hey,
it-
Johnny?
Was it cold in there, Maria?
Yeah, it was freezing. They had this wall of ice that was just ice, and we put our hands all over it. It was extremely
Were you like just where
cold.
normal people were, or did you guys get to go in special places?
Well, normal people there, but we got to go behind the scenes and look at all the stuff.
Wow.
And we even got to walk in their habitat down 9.
You walked in the penguin habitat.
Uh-huh.
I like to say something.
Go ahead, Bodie. Tell us what you saw.
I got to feed the stingrays.
This is going on YouTube. So tell us about the stingrays.
These stingrays. Well, that was pretty hard. So the stingrays, if you can't hold it, the fish, you can't hold it like this dangling from above. You have to hold it between your fingers.
They were fish?
Yeah, you gotta hold it between your fingers and put it on the ground, and then they'll come up to you and suck it into their mouth. And it's weird.
Did you get to pet them?
Yes, I got to pet them. They were slimy. They're slimy. I got to pet the dolphins, the bottlenose dolphins, and you couldn't really give the fish then pet them because they would go away. So you had to get the fish and pet them, and they'd try to grab it and stuff. So cool. Okay, so when I was behind scenes, I got to see the penguins, and we got to see one of the penguins, and we got to pet him, and I got pictures with him.
Did you see the same penguins Cameron saw?
I don't know.
Did it squirt anything yellow out of its behind?
Yeah.
And these penguins that
it would poo again after 10 minutes. She's very into the poo.
And then
Sure.
She's her
the
father's.
pee comes out in 5 minutes after it goes poo, and the pee is brown.
The pee is brown and the poo is yellow.
Everything's messed up. They're all backwards. When you do that, it's going to record it sideways.
Oh shoot, I was doing it.
Yeah, they're gonna
We
be all
can't flip it?
crooked. No.
Ever? Oh no, it's gonna be a sideways video.
I can do it again.
It was just Maria's because I was kind of trying to see her this way. Tell me again about the polar bear.
Well, they have different exhibits
No, it's not.
because the polar bears fight each other. So they have different exhibits for each polar bear. They're really lazy. They sleep 87% of the day.
Oh my gosh. Did they teach you anything about a career, like what you'd have to do to become one of these workers?
Yeah, you'd have to work with animals in like a zoo or something to have animal experience, and you'd have to be able to swim really well.
Which, okay.
If you're training a dolphin, you have to swim really well and be trained in like scuba diving and stuff like that.
Okay. That's all you need to know.
Pretty much.
If I would have known that in 1978.
You need like an education.
Exactly. But did the people seem like they love their jobs?
Yes.
Now, are we starting all over?
Yeah.
Okay, so I went to go to pet and feed a penguin, and when the person was holding the penguin, it squirted out poo. And you see the poo is yellow, and it can go out to 4 feet long. And one of my mates, they got squirted by the poo, and it was up to its knees
One of my
and then
mates.
down, and so he had to be squirted by a hose. And the penguins, they were very, very picky. Once you had a bucket of fish, they were very, very picky. They bit on your shoes, they
Maria.
bit you,
About to
and
get
things
pounded
like
with it.
that.
Tell us,
Yes.
I've got something to
like,
say.
tell us about the fat,
Okay, so the
fat polar bear
penguin,
again.
Oh, yeah. Fat polar bear, his name was Johnny. And he just slept and did yoga poses. But he was really, really fat and old. He was old for a polar bear because he was like 19 years old.
Oh, had you always been there?
Yes, he's the oldest one. And I went
Up
on,
and down.
before I went to see the polar bears, you have to walk in this Arctic zone where you walk in and you're like in a plane, you buckle in, and it like shakes you and stuff and takes you on a helicopter ride.
Oh, cool.
And then you walk out and you see the beluga whales and the polar bears and
I love beluga
walruses.
whales.
It's really cool.
Okay, so I've got something to say about the penguins. If you don't know how they have like an argument, the way they have an argument is if there are two beaks, the two people that are having an argument, their beaks will slap them back and forth like this.
That's a penguin fight?
Yeah. And then the poo is yellow and the pee is brown. And
Hey, she learned something today.
so just
I
in
didn't know that.
case,
I didn't know that either.
40
just
years.
in case the
Have you ever held a baby
penguin
penguin?
has to go poo,
Get out of the way!
she said.
Jack could turn that penguin upside down and use him as a gun.
And
Squirt them. Jack's
she puts on this
machine gun
like
poop.
little rubber
here we go.
apron that keeps the poo and pee off her. And,
That's pretty smart.
And then they waddle back in, and I got to feed them. And they were
What'd you
very
feed 'em?
picky. We fed them